Hello and welcome to the WIHS Journal Public Affairs Program. I'm Jerry Williams. Join me now and learn about a unique ministry in the area of hockey. We're talking about Overcomers Roller Hockey Ministry. That's happening now on the WIHS Journal. It's news and public affairs. All right, we are with Brent and Lori Casalino of Overcomers Roller Hockey. How are you folks? How are you doing?
We are doing well.
Doing pretty good.
So we're going to be talking about an interesting idea as a result of watching a Christian movie called Facing the Giants. I'm very familiar with Facing the Giants. It was a great Christian movie. So before we get into all that, Brent, where are you from?
From Bristol, born and raised.
The home of the worldwide leader of sports, ESPN.
Yes, it is. Work right down the street.
Yeah, you ever did a tour there?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we did one probably about a year ago. Actually, a guy from our church works there, so he gave us the tour.
You watched that little idea that came about in the 80s just grow and become the big behemoth sports conglomerate that it is.
Funny aside, 79, big snowstorm. It was like the second biggest storm we ever had. My buddy and I called 100 people up on the phone, just random, asked them what their favorite sports were, and then we were, 13 years old or something, and we walked down to the building, to the ESPN building, and thought, hey, we'll give this to ESPN. They'll want our information that we took a survey about who likes what sports.
Wow. Wow.
So that was funny. And actually, one of the big vice presidents came out and took it from us. They were very nice and got a letter from Chet Simmons, who was the head of the company at the time and later became the president of the USFL.
Wow. Pretty cool. Ambitious kids.
Yep. At least for a moment.
Right. Before we talk about Overcomers, how has Christ impacted your life, Brent? What's your journey?
Huge. I made a confession of faith when I was pretty young. I heard the man preach out of the Bible, said, if you believe in your heart, confess with your mouth, you'd be saved. I did, but it wasn't till many years later, till 2006, that I was just going through stuff inside my heart and my head, and I was just in an unknown place. I was looking, and then my lovely wife here said, hey, why don't you go down to this place where I used to go to church? And I went down there, and I talked to the pastor there. It wasn't a one-day thing, but we started going there, and I spent a lot of time with a fellow named Pastor Zara, and he led me to the Lord in more of a practical sense, in that, I made a confession of faith at that time, even though I already had made one, but my life hadn't really changed. That's when I started really following Christ. That's when that happened. It's been all good ever since, as far as the changes that have happened in me. Slow sometimes, Everything doesn't just, change overnight. Mm-hmm. But, I'm a little slow anyway, so eventually I get the idea.
Amen. So, Lori, how did you guys meet, and how long you been married now?
Well, let's see. From Plainville Indoor Sports Arena, I've been working for Lori Derrick, which you will hear from later on. She owns Plainville Indoor Sports Arena, and I started there as a scorekeeper, and then I worked my way up to the counter. Brent used to coach a whole bunch of kids back then. We used to have many different teams in midget, in youth, and in junior, all age groups. I don't know, we started talking, and we actually played on the same team together. He used to wear this Capitals jersey when it had an eagle on it, and I used to tell him I wanted the shirt off his back. And now I have it.
Do you remember what my first very romantic words to you were?
Watch the boards.
Yeah, cover the boards.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, because we were on the same team.
Yeah.
So that's how that came out.
He played defense, I played offense.
So 20 plus years of holy matrimony right now.
Yes, sir.
So you had this incredible idea, this inspiration from the movie Facing the Giants to start a hockey ministry.
Yeah, that's basically it. About the same time that came rolling out and I became familiar with it, that was the same time that I was really growing in my faith. I'm like, wow, there's no reason that can't happen in real life. he was in the movie, if you recall, he was teaching at a Christian school. Now, I don't think I'd be teaching at a Christian school since I'm not really a teacher. I did have some experience coaching hockey, so I figured if I could get some kids together, then we could talk about things. Of course, everybody they know the deal that it's, that's part of what we do is talk about the Bible and relate it to life and all that sort of thing. And we do talk about Jesus, not ashamed of the gospel at all. It's been the best thing in my life. And then this team, I see changes in people. Hopefully, those changes will radiate. You start changing yourself, and then other people see you, and then they'll ask what's going on with you, what's making you like that. The answer comes back, Jesus, and that's how things spread.
If you're just tuning in, we are with Brent Castellino along with his wife, Lori, and we're talking about Overcomers roller hockey. So you're there in what town? Where are you based out of?
Plainville Indoor Sports Arena.
And what's the age group that you work with? How does it work?
Well, our youngest player currently is 6 years old. Our oldest player is 12, but we're trying to work our way through the woods here on what our future, how it's actually going to unfold. So one of the reasons we're here is we want to put the word out there that if anybody's interested, can please get in contact with us. We're looking for people to get involved and help spread the word and be involved. And if you're a parent, your kid that you might want them to hear about the Bible in a way that isn't strictly church, that's what we are. You may never have seen this before, but sometimes people tend to get disinterested while they're at church. That happens. And here's a way we have their interest, and it's fun. If you've ever noticed the things you've had fun doing, you tend to remember. We tie that all together, just hoping to help people find Christ, and hopefully, like my life changed, as we were saying before, a lot of the things that I shouldn't have been doing, I'm not doing anymore. And even for the kids, that's true. I mean, no matter how young you are or how old you are, you're not perfect. You're not doing everything right. That's what we do. We try to, again, relate the Bible to life.
Lori, what were your thoughts when he first came to you with the idea about starting a hockey ministry?
Well, I actually loved it because of the fact that he used to coach many different teams, like I said before, all different age groups. So we're trying to get more kids interested in something that they never even heard about before. Plainville Indoor Sports Arena has been there for 32 years. We just lost a lot of kids that age group or different age groups due to other sports because there's so many different sports out there. So we're trying to bring roller hockey back. Yeah, so every time, we'd watch Facing the Giants, my favorite line is the stone wall.
Stone wall! I remember the stone wall!
Because I was a goalie, and so we used to tease. He used to tease me about that, to be a stone wall.
Yeah.
So we're trying to, put that in the kids' head, too.
Yeah, that's a great scene. I own Facing the Giants, and that is a great scene, the stone wall. Stone wall! Stone wall! And you see them dig in there into the turf, man, and they just formed a stone wall, and the opponent couldn't get through.
Don't have any plans on having anybody do death crawl yet, though.
The death crawl, right? I remember that scene, too. You can do it! You can do it! All right, take off your blindfold and look where you're at.
Yep.
With 100 yards.
Lori had a mask she had made up special that was a stone wall, so that was her goalie mask.
It's Plainville Indoor Sports Arena. That's
Correct.
where all this takes place. And are you year-round, or is it seasonal?
Well, the place itself is open year-round, and we'll have some activity there for our team year-round. But with the summer season coming up, I'm not sure what our schedule as a team is going to be like yet. How they do have people play on a part-time basis, and they pay as they go. I think that's a lot of what we're going to see over the summer.
Yeah.
But they are open all year round. They hardly ever take a day off. It's good like that, especially for people who don't have any other sport that they do. And guess what? We were recruiting out of our church for starters, and we had a lot of that. We have a lot of people on our team that never played anything, And that's been a challenge because, there's a certain mindset that goes with sports a little bit. We're still working on that.
Yeah. We have a lot of homeschoolers.
Well, speaking of Plainville Indoor Sports Arena, who better to talk about the sports arena than Lori, the owner? So we got two Loris here, folks. We got Lori Casalino and Lori, the owner of Plainville Indoor Sports Arena. So we're going to switch places. Two Loris, they should high five each other. They're walking across each, changing places, and they just high fived each other. I just witnessed it. All right, now we're with Lori Derrick. We went from Lori Casalino to Lori Derrick, the owner of Plainville Indoor Sports Arena, where Overcomers roller hockey, that's the home base. And talk about your arena and the genesis, the history, and how it all came about.
We've been open about 32 years. My business partner, whose name is Sandy Cipriano, her parents started the business. He was a mason, and his back bothered him a lot. All the kids in the neighborhood used to play roller hockey, and they begged him to open a place closer to Plainville because they didn't necessarily like where they were playing. So he built it from scratch, and the whole rink is homemade, a lot of it, and you can tell that when you walk in, but it's home for us and for everybody else. We've met a lot of good people there and friendships that have lasted a lifetime. And we've had a lot of marriages result of playing together.
I was thinking you were about to say we've had a lot of marriages right there on the ice.
We've had some proposals out there. So that's the funny part of it.
Plainville Indoor Sports Arena, what's the address?
It's 161 Woodford Avenue.
Yes.
We're in Suite 59. It's an old factory building. Come down and see us. We're open 7 days a week. Like Lori and Brent said, we hardly take any time off, just the holidays. We have games that start Monday through Friday from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. And on the weekends, we do the kids in the morning, have a little break in the afternoon, and then we go straight till 9, 10 o'clock.
Well, I just want to personally thank you for allowing Brent's and Lori's Christ-centered roller hockey ministry to take place right there on your rink. I applaud you, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
I wanted to say that as well. I mean, it couldn't happen without her. And I also want to give a thank you to, there's a fellow named Brian, Coach Brian. If you hear this, thank you too. You've been a real good help to us. So
in closing, Brent, if there's someone out there in our listening audience thinking, wow, I'd like for my kid to be a part of this hockey ministry, how can they reach out to you? What's your contact information?
You can reach me via email at Brent, Casolino, Cassolino, at gmail.com, and also phone number 860-794-8526. So that's how you get a hold of me. We are really looking for more people, looking for kids ages, again, 6 to actually 13, because we're probably at some point going to try to put enough players together for a team in the older division, and that's what we're needing right now is people. It's going really good, but we want to keep that momentum rolling. Just spread the love.
You can also contact Plainville Indoor Sports at 860-793-9999. And we do ages, we start at 4 and we'll go all the way up to 17.
Overcomers roller hockey takes place at Plainville Indoor Sports Arena, where you'll see the ever-present Lori Derrick floating around there. Thank you, folks. Thanks for sharing. God bless you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you would like more information about what you heard today, call WIHS 860-346-1049, 860-346-1049. The WIHS Journal, it's news and public affairs.